Queerlit is Manchester's first LGBTQ+ bookshop and stocks over 1,700 titles that your classic high street bookshops do not stock. It is one of 4 shops in the UK dedicated to LGBTQ+ literature and has been set up to create a happy and safe space for the community.
Community bookshops don't just sell books. So I get parents every day of the week coming in and telling me about how their child has come out as non-binary or as trans or queer, and we get to help shape what that looks like for that child and for that parent. We get to help that child feel fine within their own skin, tell them it's absolutely fine, and we get to build confidence for parents to understand that it's fine for their kids to go through these processes, these thoughts, these feelings, and to help them better understand their children.
Queerlit have sent 300 copies of Trans Britain, a book about the history of the transgender community, to members of Parliament across the country. This was to give MPs knowledge of the community before framing laws that affect them. For many in the community, bookshops like this are a haven.
It was never like a point where I was like, I want to become a man. I've just always known, you know? Yeah. Like I've always... my brain just works completely different, and I've always clocked that. Mm-hmm. And I've always felt more comfortable because I play a lot of games and stuff, especially. Mm-hmm. I always enjoy playing more as the male characters. I always felt it was more relatable that way. But it was last year during uni, especially during our lockdown phase, where we were isolating on our accommodation and stuff, that I think it really got to me because I realised I was growing up, but I'm a person I don't really want to be.
In a report by Transaxual, which is an organisation who aim to educate people on trans rights, 63% of respondents said that they experienced transphobia when seeking employment. This percentage rising to 73% for people of colour. The report also demanded that funding should be made available so all employers can provide their staff with training on trans inclusion.
I think along with schools, we need to start teaching morals in the workplace. Because my experience as a trans person in the workplace, initially, at least if you're unsure of someone's gender, at least ask them. Because when I first started at my work, I got misgendered like crazy. It's not nice, you know.
However, organisations such as Channel 4, Ofsted and the BBC recently pulled out of the Diversity Champions scheme by Stonewall, who are Europe's largest LGBTQ+ charity. This scheme ensures all LGBTQ+ staff are free to be themselves in the workplace.
I understand the BBC has to stay impartial, but there's two folds here, isn't there? Because if they start pulling out of things, the framework that's there to ensure they stay an inclusive employer and they have inclusive views, then they need to stay in frameworks like that. But then when they've done those one steps further and have recently published a reasonably transphobic article, how can they say they are staying impartial, especially when they're firstly attacking minorities and then using baseless information to do that? So they broke their own regulations on what type of reporting they'll use to create that. So it looks like the BBC is unfortunately not staying impartial and is swaying in one direction at the moment.
The BBC, however, have said it is committed to being a leading employer for inclusion. Jessica Mason, Manchester.